Ever felt like the ghost in your own family? That was me, Alex, always living in the shadow of my perfect sister Chloe. She was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, while I was, well, just Alex. My parents showered her with praise, funded her every whim from ballet lessons to a brand new car for her 16th birthday. Me? I got hand-me-downs and was told to be more like her. I learned early on to be self-reliant, saving every penny from my part-time job, dreaming of a day I could finally be independent. That day came sooner than I ever imagined, and in the most unexpected way. On a whim, I bought a lottery ticket with a spare change from my coffee run. I didn't think anything of it, just stuffed it in my wallet and forgot. A week later, while cleaning out my bag, I found it. Curiosity got the better of me, so I checked the numbers online. My heart stopped. One by one, the numbers on my screen matched the ones on the ticket. I refreshed the page, thinking it was a glitch. It wasn't. I had won. Not just a few bucks, but the jackpot. $620,000 after taxes. My hands were shaking. This was it. This was my ticket to freedom, to a life I could finally call my own. For a whole day, I kept it a secret. It was my delicious, life-changing secret. I imagined paying for college without crushing debt, maybe even starting a small business. The possibilities were endless. But the guilt started to creep in. They were still my family, right? Maybe this was a chance to finally earn their approval. So, with a deep breath, I gathered my parents and Chloe in the living room. I held up the ticket and told them the news. For a second, there was stunned silence, then an eruption of cheers. My dad clapped me on the back. My mom hugged me tighter than she ever had. Even Chloe looked genuinely happy for me. It felt good. For the first time I felt seen. But that feeling, like a beautiful dream, was fleeting. The very next evening, my parents sat me down again. The mood was different, heavy with expectation. My dad cleared his throat. "Alex," he began, "your mother and I have been talking. We think it's only fair that you give half of your winnings to Chloe." I blinked. Sure, I had misheard. What? Why? My mom jumped in, her voice syrupy sweet. "Well, darling, you know Chloe's had a tougher time. She has so many creative pursuits that need funding, and this would really help her get established. You've always been the responsible one. You can make the other half work. It's the right thing to do for your sister." I was floored. My sister, who had never worked a day in her life, who had everything handed to her on a silver platter, needed my help? The money I won, through sheer random luck, was now being claimed as a family resource, designated for the golden child. "No," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "No, this is my money. I won it." My father's face hardened. "Don't be selfish, Alex. We are a family, we share. Chloe deserves this." The argument escalated quickly. It wasn't a discussion, it was a demand. They painted me as greedy and ungrateful. The more I refused, the angrier they became. Finally, my dad stood up, his face red with fury. "Fine. If you're going to be so selfish, then you can't live under our roof. Either you give Chloe her fair share, or you get out. You have until tomorrow morning to decide." He delivered the ultimatum without a flinch. My mother and Chloe just sat there, silent, their expressions confirming their agreement. My heart shattered. They weren't just asking for money. They were putting a price on my place in the family. And apparently, that price was $310,000. For them, it was an easy choice. For me, it was a devastating revelation. My own parents were willing to kick me out, to make me homeless, unless I handed over a fortune to my sister who had done nothing to deserve it. That night, I didn't sleep. I just sat in my room, the winning ticket feeling like a cursed object. Their words echoed in my head. Give Chloe her share, or get out. The choice they gave me wasn't a choice at all. It was the clearest message I had ever received from them. My worth was conditional. My place in their home was for rent. And my sister's desires would always come before my needs. A strange sense of calm washed over me. It was the calm of clarity. I finally understood. I didn't have a family, not a real one. So, I made a different choice. A choice for me. Before the sun came up, I packed a single bag with my essentials, my important documents, and a lottery ticket. I looked around the room I grew up in, the room that never truly felt like mine. There were no sentimental tears, just a quiet resolve. I wrote a short, simple note and left it on my pillow. It said, "You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. Goodbye." I slipped out the front door, closing it softly behind me. I didn't look back. As I walked down the silent street, the early morning air felt crisp and clean. It tasted like freedom. They wanted me to leave? Fine. But I was leaving on my own terms, with my future, all $620,000 of it, held firmly in my hand. They didn't just lose half the money, they lost a son. The first few weeks were a blur of logistics. I stayed in a modest hotel, opened a new bank account, and consulted a financial advisor. I changed my phone number and deleted my social media. I completely and utterly vanished from their lives. It was surprisingly easy. The hardest part was the silence. The ingrained habit of wanting to call my mom or text my dad about something funny I saw. But then I'd remember the ultimatum, the coldness in their eyes, and the ache would turn back into resolve. I was grieving the family I wished I had, not the one I actually left. A couple of months later, curiosity got the better of me. I created a fake social media profile to see what was happening. Chloe's page was a goldmine. She was posting vague, dramatic statuses about family betrayal and snakes in the grass. My parents were chiming in with comments about how some people forget where they come from. They were spinning a narrative where I was the villain, the greedy monster who abandoned his loving family. It was almost laughable. They had no idea where I was, and the lack of control was clearly driving them crazy. I heard through the grapevine an old friend from high school that they'd even tried to report me as a missing person, but since I was an adult, there was nothing the police could do. It's been a year now. I live in a new city, in a modest apartment that is all mine. I enrolled in college to study business, and I've even used some of the money as seed capital for a small online venture that is starting to do well. I'm building a life, brick by brick, that belongs to me and no one else. I found new friends, a new community, a chosen family that supports me without conditions. Sometimes, I wonder if my parents or Chloe ever feel a moment of regret. But honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. They gave me an ultimatum, my money or my home. They thought I'd choose them. But what they failed to realize is that a home is built on love and respect, not financial transactions. They didn't kick me out. They set me free. And for that, in a strange way, I'll always be grateful. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you've ever felt like you had to fight for your place, know that you are not alone. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. See you next time.